Hello, everybody, and welcome on in to the Aurora Overwatch Clash. As Joel mentioned, we were streaming on the wrong channel for the first 8 minutes. We apologize. You didn't miss any action, though. We're still in the lobby waiting for Washington Overwatch team to give us their lineup. But as we mentioned, we're going in on to Busan here. Of course, Loch, Ness, Nessies going against Washington Overwatch team. Two excellent performers so far this season in Aurora and going into Week 7. I'll be your color caster today, Booty, and joining me is your play-by-play caster, Ninja Drew. And
Hello,
Ninja Drew,
hello.
the thing I sent off before we figured we were in the wrong channel was, if you're watching an Overwatch team fan, what do you have to do here? You're going against Loch Ness Nessies 5-1, only dropping their first game last week to the Junkyard Dogs and Mat 5 Bangers. So you got a challenge ahead of you. You've been stumbling as of late. What do you guys see from this team moving forward?
Well, I know that both Corey and Vind are very proficient tank players. So Corey's just gonna have to be really careful and play around Vind, who's especially known for his Orisa plays. Um, Fedora is an extremely proficient at the Torbjorn, but having that known and being counterplayed is a really strong strategy against this team. But hopefully, Fedora will be able to flex onto some other different characters. I know that you said earlier before the incident that Corey was working with Fedora to move on to some other things that he's being thrown into the support category, actually. So having him now on support changes everything around, actually. I know that he has played the Ana quite a bit, from what I remember correctly playing with him. I know that he likes the Kiri as well, especially Moira, and especially lower ranks, but that might just be me playing with him in silver. I know that Teddy is an extraordinarily proficient DPS, so being able to counter off some of their DPS is a big part. And Nuttier, well-known support player, very, very strong at Lucio, and I know he's pretty decent at BAP as well. Razmataz, while a weaker DPS overall, her vises are terrifying, and I know because I was on her team when the soldier was unleashed.
All right.
So,
We did get the Arch from both our squads, so we're going to hit in here to our first map of Busan. So,
alrighty.
when you think of Busan, it's a fairly diverse map when it comes to compositions, and you can see that dive, you can see that brawl, but it appears we're going to start here on, I believe this is Busan Shrine, whatever, I don't know what it's called, I don't remember Busan's a bad map, but anyways, the one with the drums on the middle, as we can see kind of both compositions working fairly well. You can see that die, but more or less a brawl could come in. You can see that die, but for some reason, had to meet the Discord. But we're good now. But yeah, it depends what we're going to see. Corey on the Wrecking Ball. Would not be shocked if that sticks around, especially as well if you get Vind on the Wrecking Ball too. Both these players very proficient when it comes to the tank, and I think if Raz sticks to the Sombra, we could see Corey gain the advantage here early. But the biggest thing you want to point out here is Fedora on the support. It's not something you expect to see from watching an Overwatch team, but this is that new look. We were talking about it on the other stream, on the other channel, my bad. That he's been playing a lot of things in different scrims, and new look from the Overwatch team here. They got to adapt. They're going against the top team in the league, so we'll see what happens.
Alright. It appears that the teams... Oh.
We need to pause immediately. Excellent.
It appears that nothing is happening now.
Can we restart? Okay, appears Laura needs to do a quick restart of the game, so we'll go back to the map brick screen. We can bring it back to the conversation we had a little bit before. Washington Overwatch team started out very strong this season, not dropping a single map in the first 3 games, I believe, but then coming back and kind of faltering here as of late, going 1-2 in their previous matches, losing to the Munich Mice and I think the Pandas. I'm not sure, but they've been pretty tough opponents as well. Oh no, Munich Mice and Tortuga Team 2 were the two they lost to. But dropping those two, and then we have the Loch Ness Nessies dropping that one game to the Tortuga team, or not Tortuga, but to the Junkyard Dogs in 5. So this game's kind of up in the air. I want to hear your opinions on who you think is going to win because, you know, we haven't really been talking about that recently. Now we got a bit of a poke view of these comps here. So who do you have the advantage here, if not on Busan the entire match?
For this match, or at least this map specifically, I believe with these comps that the Overwatch team has a little bit of the extra counterplay with the Laura's back with Razzmatazz on that Sombra being able to help shut down the ball and also deal with Zenyatta and Mercy pretty handily, as long as you're able to cancel those reses or hunt down that Zenyatta if he doesn't get the extra help that he needs. And then also just dealing with the ball, keeping him constantly hacked and able to roll away. I believe that they have an advantage for at least this beginning round.
And both teams are ready here. But the advantage you're talking about now, Laura's just back in the game, but they won't be there for just a quick second here, as they are kind of a bit of a staggered out here. Raz gets that hack on the pickup. Why am I playing? It's your job. Go ahead, take it away.
And Raz gets the extra, the first pick on to Vickoffs. And her team has now taken over the point. Teddy M is getting chased down in the back line. Corey comes in to help. Vind is hacked on that ball, and Razzmatazz takes out Laura, taking out both the DPS. Now, Vind is currently hacked in their team. Hayden falls, Charbotron falls, and Vind falls as well. Vigoffs is trying to get out, and he's able to dash over the wall, but it might not be enough. Yeah, and it is. Teddy will get out.
Yeah, they're going to get out here, and Razzmatazz, the hero of that fight, coming in here with 3 ginormous hacks on the opposition, claiming a bunch of final lows as well. But the dive in with Corey there once they got the hack onto Laura was ginormous. So again, Raz on the Sombra is putting in some work so far. Where's the sauce coming through? Vend over on the D.Va, a bit more peel here against the Sombra. Laura on the Cassidy as well. A lot more self-sustaining than the Ashe out of the pocket. So, I mean, Vikov still switching off this Genji though, so there could be a problem here if Raz can get a hack.
And Vind is hacked. Corey's able to roll in, get a slam. Unfortunately, Nuttier did get stuck, but it was cleansed by Fedora Master. Vikovs is hacked as he dives in, but Vind is able to cover. Corey ulting into their team. Laura's able to pick off Teddy M. And Razzmatazz is trying. And it appears that the Washington Overwatch team is kind of having to back out here and try to get out. But Fedora Master is able to pick off Vind with a headshot, and it appears that they are able to almost stabilize as they have their team. Vikovs uses his ult, which is mostly countered by Raz and Nuttier. Laura picks off Hayden, or Laura picks off Corey, and Fedora picks off Hayden. High Noon is used. Vikovs is able to pick off Nuttier. However, Fedora Master's ult does come through, which is able to mostly stabilize for the Washington Overwatch team, and it allows Corey to get back in time. Charbotron falls to Corey. And Fedora falls to Vikovs, but Razzmatazz is able to pick off Laura. Corey's able to pick off Hayden. Vikovs picking off Nuttier. Bomb coming in, unable to really get anybody, but it does zone a little bit. And the point has flipped, but the fight is still not really over. As Corey goes in, Corey ults. Alone on point. His team is able to come in and attempt to help him. As Vikovs pick off Razzmatazz, but Vin's mech is gone. Laura is able to pick off Nuttier, but Fedora Master picks off Hayden. It is trade for trade, continuing to show. Vin is able to get his mech back, which is really big for his team. Razzmatazz is able to hack him though and burst down that mech pretty low. Laura and Vin are able to pick off 2 people. A Blade comes in. Corey picking off Charbotron. Blade getting Fedora Master. And
Oh my God, I think it's finally over.
It appears that Vin is picking off Nuttier, and Corey is getting out. The fight finally ends.
Holy cow, yeah, catch your breath out of that one. That one went for I think a grand total of like 120%. That whole fight was just never ending. They went for, it's been 2 fights so far this entire game. We're already at 64% to 99. And I mean, look at the ults building up here. You have EMP, you have mines, but you're looking at the pulse bomb and the bomb here from Vind. So it's very close. Chartron has those beat though. She has to get quickly here for the count of the EMP and sustain on point. Vin's gonna go aggressive here on the dive though, force out a Dormouse TP or Suzu.
And Corey using his ult. Fedora Master dying super early. And there is that EMP that we were worried about. Bomb comes out. Charbotron ults. Mech is returned. And a lot of scuffling, a lot of running. Nutter uses his ult to try and sustain. Trying to get some advantage with that super late beat into the fight. Charbotron is hacked. Hayden using their ult. Vin picking off Fedora Master. Razmataz is able to pick off Charbotron. Vikov is able to pick off Nuttier using his entire team for help. Corey is able to pile drive on point, trying to stay alive as long as he can, but he falls super low. Laura is able to pick off Corey. Tedium falls. And there it is. The first round of the first map.
I don't even know how to analyze that, honestly, as a color caster, because I'd have to analyze the entire freaking map so far. I mean, but as of right now, it was just, there was no real call for a reset on either side. You had the Washington Overwatch team, they got that point to 9-9 after 2 fights, but just the Loch and Nessies stay alive for just long enough to sustain this point. Laura with that clutch swap over on the Tracer was just blinking on and out the point. Eventually it flips into chaos, and then the Loch and Nessies just take that to the end to 100%. And, I mean, you had Fedora Master getting picked off early with, I mean, I don't know how he did. He must have TP'd and Susan early because they got that pick, and that was basically the end of that fight. And just long sustained from the side of the Washington Overwatch team to keep that even competitive. But now you look at it, we're on a different looking map here. Vind over onto the Winston. A lot less susceptible perhaps to a Sombra hack than the D.Va or the Ball. So perhaps a bit of adaptation here as the Nutter going pretty aggressive.
Nutter's going really aggressive. He's able to get out.
Oh, God.
Laura picks off Fedora Master early once more. Laura picking off Nuttier as well. Getting multiple picks early on.
Okay, I think this might be an actual fight end here a little bit. This one is a contestant, but it's just Corey and the Wrecking Ball, but I don't think the reinforcement would be there in time. We can look at the last fight right now.
Yep.
I mean, we have...
Corey does get picked off.
It was just, honestly, just a bit of an over-aggression there. Fedora Master TP's back to his squad, but Vin was there falling... to just shock him a little bit and kill him, so... Yeah,
Vin picking off Teddy really, really late in that fight.
Yeah, no, the ult building up here a lot slower on this because no Ball, no D.Va to hack here for Raz. It's a lot harder for her to build that EMP charge. Big cost towards that blade, Laura with the bolt on as well. So a lot to use here. The Fedora Master Cure Code experiment is not impressed me so far. I can say that very much. His ability usage is not exactly the greatest, potentially a bit over aggressive here. The DPS mindset. Corey falls so weak but stays alive just long enough. Teddy's forced to recall on point, and this fight's good.
Teddy recalls on point. Corey does pick off Vikovs though. Corey slams down, and Hayden is forced to use his Suzu. Nuttier's getting chased down by Vin, and Vin does get that kill. Corey gets pulse bombed, and dies because of the result of it. Fedora has also fallen, and Teddy also falls. I believe that Raz also got picked off a little bit earlier, but I was more watching the pulse bomb.
And yeah, Vin able to find both supports at the big end. The fight's a huge blow. I mean, just look at this. Fedora Master can build this Casino Rush very quickly. Or like only 9% with the same percent in the round here so far. Hayden still has their Casino Rush, and they also have the blade here from Vikov. Could go aggressive here. Nuttier just gets a beat in time for it. However, I mean, Vikov's playing pretty weak here. It might die early. They get Laura here as well.
And it appears that Fedora Master is getting chased down again. However, he's able to get out, and Monkey is forced to ult. Vin gets Nuttier, and Vikov grabs Raz. Corey does get Hayden, though. A whole lot of kills coming through. Vin getting 2, and Corey's ulting on point, but it doesn't appear that his Kiri's ult would be enough for him to really get anything other than stalling the point, which they flipped in the chaos for just a little bit longer.
They just used a Primal Razor, Loch, Ness, Nessies for that flip in exchange for Kusina Rush. Nutter still has his beat, however, Vikkov's Blade Blue. Walking into an EMP from Ramataz could be a game changer. Has to use it on point here early. Oh, it's a 5-man!
Raz used it on earlier. Vind is able to pick off 2 though. Vikkov's Blade is able to pick off Teddy, and Beat comes in and is able to just negate the vast majority of the damage. Pulse is used, Susu's used. Fedora Master falls to Vikkov's. And it's just Corey rolling around on point, trying his best to stall. Beat comes in. It apparently doesn't get Corey though, or the damage is just far too much.
Alright, I need to see a console from Washington Overwatch team immediately. That wasn't it, Chief. Bit of an experimenting there, but you could just tell they're missing Fedora Master's presence in that DPS line. Just there wasn't that much damage really coming out. I mean, you did have a Sombra, so it's not like Ramataz had much of a choice. I would have actually seen Ramataz swap potentially over to like a Pharah to put some pressure here in the back line or on the tank, really, even the DPS, because there's one around for free right now. The hacks really aren't landing on the right targets, it seems. They don't really have the follow-up. So I think this one just needs a bit more work, a bit more time in the crock pot, you could say, to come together, because that Sombra ball dive did not really come together. Because,
Indeed.
I mean, you're going against like a Genji, I don't want to say, but a Genji one-trick. He very enjoys a Genji player. But you really could pressure him, so Vikkov's was just free, just farming in the back line. They picked up a Doormaster way too many times first as a Kiriko.
Yeah.
I think that is an off-roll for him, so I'm not going to be like, Fedora is garbage, because he's definitely better than me at everything in the game, but definitely not their best look right now. Watching Overwatch team doing something spicy on map 1, but probably for the last time we're going to see it for a while.
Yeah. Indeed. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Yeah, putting him back on the DPS right away.
And Corey over on his support. This is this new look that they've been practicing here with Teddy on the tank, so they can get Corey on his main role of support and Fedora as DPS. So a new look. I'm kind of surprised, honestly. I just think it's SR reasons they're picking out Nuttier here on KR. You know, it's a Lucio Wonderland, especially if you're going to play that Brawl. But I think if I had to take a guess, you know, I have the insider information. I think Teddy will be playing a Diva here and Corey on an Ana. So kind of a, not exactly a default look here on King's Row for him, but probably going to be sticking to something like that. In terms of Loch Ness Ness, they haven't given me any updates on their swaps, but I expect Flomdog probably to come in for Charbatron, and nothing else changes. And they're going to play a Rhine Brawl, which they're very good at. Taking King's Row last week against the Junkyard Dogs. I don't believe they've lost on that map so far this season, so it's kind of up to the Overwatch team to clutch it out here. I'm honestly surprised it went to King's Row rather than something like a Numbani or potentially a Parasio. A new look, but you know, it's King's Row, it's Aurora, you gotta pick it.
Yeah, it is well known that King's Row is pretty much the favorite map of the vast majority of the Aurora League, and I'd go out to say that King's Row is probably the favorite map of the vast majority of the player base of Overwatch in general.
It's just a good map. It's just a good map. It's just
a good map all around.
Can you name a good map that's come out recently, like a new map? You can't. All the original maps are good. All new ones are bad. I'm cool and gangsta. Anyway, we're going in. We're doing both ours. We can stop stalling.
The new things are scary.
Well, the new things are scarily bad. Because, I mean, what? You got Circuit Royale, which you only can play one comp on that map or lose, basically. You can play any of the push maps, which are only like 2% better than 2 CP. There's the Rio map, the Parasio one, which is okay, but point C is a bit wonky. Oh, are they actually playing the Ramatri here with Teddy? That'd be a new look, and honestly one I respect. Because if you play as Ramatri, you don't really need the Lucio to work with, and you have Triste and Corian, two kind of flex support players. You don't really have that Lucio player, so honestly, I like that. And if you're expecting the Reinhardt out from Vind, which he's not on, but Ramatri would be a great counter pick into that. Vind may potentially reading this and going to the Zarya early here. Lore on that Sojourn. Kind of the same look on both sides here. in terms of the support line, but everything else is completely different. Kim Fedora, on his main role of, I won't say DPS, but Torbjorn, put out the damage to out-sustain Vin's bubbles.
His main role of Torbjorn. Oh, Bastion? No, Thorb.
You can almost hear Fedora Master in your ear when he does that Bastion. Yeah, and then he flips right back to Torbjorn.
Indeed. Raspataz with the Mercy Pocket on the far, though. She's well known for that.
She is, but she's going against Lore, one of our rookie year candidates on Sojourn with a Mercy Pocket as well, so it might be a bit rough for her. Hopefully it works on both.
Pickoffs picks the best player of the team. However, he's bubbled out. Almost, but Vickoffs is able to pick, or Raspataz is able to pick him off, as well as Hayden's Immortality Field, picking off Hayden himself too. It appears that Teddy is able to push forward and pick off Vind as well. Laura falls and Charbotron falls as well. Vickoffs just getting back into the fight is unable to really do anything to stop them as they have pushed up far and hard.
Yep, Red Matazdiff on the far. She opens up with a great pick onto a very aggressive Vickoffs. Goes in a little too deep, potentially looking for a Zarya bubble. Got one, but it just got exploded immediately. Doesn't even get Immortality Field out, so the Watch Over team can push forward very aggressively. And now looking at it, Teddy close to their ult. They got a lot of Stagger kills, and really nothing to be able here for her to decide to knock Ness. Ness is but Laura finds the opening pick on the Raz.
Laura finds the opening pick. However, window is used to sustain and back them off. And there comes the res. Vind is able to pick off Teddy M though, which makes it really, really hard for them to do anything. Thor's able to pick off Raz. And Vind is able to march forward.
And it looks like it's going to be a quick reset here for Washington Overwatch team. Look at that last fight though. It was a great play.
Thor does pick off Teddy M though.
It was a great start there, or a great set play by the team. Corey uses his window to force out the Immortality Field early, as well as get space for Patrice to get the res off. But Teddy M falls too aggressive. They're not inside the Immortality Field and dies. Unless they lost that tank, Vin goes very aggressive. They're pushing in. They have 5 ults here. It's up to Rabmataz to potentially open up with the barrage and force the Immortality Field maybe, and then Teddy to come in with Annihilation to really clean up this fight. But it's going to be pretty tough to break this hold here with the 5 ults.
Blade is used and Suffer as well. Vickoffs is able to pick up the Immortality Field, but falls. Teddy is able to pick off the enemy team's Immortality Field. Fedora's picks off Vind. Laura picks off Teddy. Core is able to pick off Hayden. Raz picks off Laura. Laura's Bob is able to pick off the most important member of their team. And Corey is able to pick off Charbotron as they charge forward. As Fedora, now with his turret on point, is able to slowly push the cart forward. As it appears that the Washington Overwatch team has taken this fight.
Teddy M plays the bait card there, goes in with the Annihilation, forces, or it does force out some pressure, but what it does, Vickoff goes into the Blade, single, basically 1v5, and gets destroyed immediately on that. So a great look for this so far, and 2 picks early right now with the window from Corey, and that could be it on point B.
Indeed. Lamp is also down, so they don't really have that get out of jail free card. And just like that, Ted is able to pick off Hayden. Fedora's mask is also to grab Laura on the way out. It appears that, and Vickoff's running into Teddy M's fist, unable to get out. It appears that Vind and Charbotron, or Vind with the help of Charbotron, will be able to get out.
I mean, the only person running into anything was Teddy M into the enemy spawn there with the Nemesis form. Got some last-second staggers there. So it does force out a lot of space creation here for the side of Washington Overwatch and they can push forward. They have moved forward still to use the window here for Hayden to respawn, but they're just going to back a little bit, wait for this to go away, and go back in here with their ults.
Here's that they are doing a quick reset to try and... Vickoff is able to pick off Fedora Master's turret, which is really important for his dives, making sure that that turret is not there.
Vind
has done a spinny in the coom. Raspataz is able to pick off Hayden as well. Laura's able to pick off Corey though. And a Bob is thrown down onto the point. Bob and the turret are having a duel. Patrice goes for the res, but Laura's watching it, making sure that he does not. Fedora's Master is able to pick off the Bob. And Teddy gets purpled and then destroyed as Vin has made a swap off to the ball to try and get back quickly. Hayden is able to really make sure that Teddy isn't able to advance into his team after using that purple.
Yeah, the Nessies almost hard-trolled that with Vin taking a dip in the molten lava with their ultimate ability where you stand completely still. So burning basically almost immediately to death. But you do get the clutch picks there from Lore, and Vin with the ball swap doing pretty well there. The big pick on a Corey burns the res. Burns the res here for this fight, so a great start here so far for Loch and Nessies, but 4 ults here for the Overwatch team to re-engage with. Really nothing for the side of the Nessies today. They made all these swaps. Vikos has to go huge with the Blade.
Here goes Blade. Blade is able to pick off Papa Triste. Hayden does fall. Raspataz is able to pick off Vikos, canceling the rest of that Blade. As Annihilation is used, but is unable to really get a hold. Oh, never mind. As Vin runs into it. However, Annihilation is over, but Vin does fall the Fedora Master. Lore is able to pick off 2. Charbotron is able to res Vin as Lore picks off that final one with that just uncontested high ground.
Yeah, you use 3 ults there for the side of the Washington Overwatch team on your attack. Not the best here, especially Annihilation coming out early. They're going to force Razzmatazz to swap over onto the Ashe off that Pharah. So a lot less pressure here. Now Lore can just play the sniper duel against Razzmatazz, which I think he's probably favored in. I don't know, Raz could shock us. But now, 3 ults here for Loch and Nessies on their defense. This could be where they stabilize, because that was the fight to win if you're Washington. You had to get that when you had the ultimate. Oh, big slam in here with the minefield.
Teddy is purple and blocked off by the minefield, so he's kind of cut off from his rest of his team. Papa Triste going in with the Glock. Nope. She doesn't go for the Glock kill. Then we have a Nano, but no Blade, and Vikos is able to get Papa Triste anyway. Vin picking off 2 or 3 there. Lore picking off that turret, and Teddy M is able to trade out for Vikos, but Vikos has returned with the power of Charbotron's res.
Oh, look at these swaps too. Teddy's gonna swap, Tracy's gonna, or Fedora's gonna swap, and Corey's gonna swap. They're not gonna have any ults here for 1 minute. They're not gonna be able to build these in time. Lore has the bob for the stall, Vikos and the Blade. It's looking pretty rough here for the side of Washington Overwatch team after looking so good on our first 2 points. Those last second stall here, Lore on this Ashe pick has been putting in so much work here on point C, especially his high ground uncontested. Fedora's gonna go up there for big pressure. The bob goes out in time, but he dies for it. It's gonna be 1 for 1.
Fedora is able to pick off 2. The Bob is able to pick off Papa Triste. Hayden picks off Fedora Master as well. Vikos is able to pick off the Razzmatazz, but Corey does get Vikos in return. Corey gets purpled in the back line. He's very low, and he's getting chased by his Ana counterpart. He still lives, though. Hayden is picked off. Lore, however, does get Fedora Master with the power of the dynamite. A Nano is used. Vikos is using Blade, gets Papa Triste and Corey. The support line is down. Teddy M is able to pick off Charbotron in that chaos. Vikos using the last second of his Blade to pick off Razzmatazz, and Teddy M picks off Vin. But it appears that Teddy M using his bomb had to get off a point.
Yeah, I mean they had to use the bomb off point because they just couldn't touch them. The body block from Vin was there. But, you know, I said they couldn't have time to build his ultimates here for the last fight, and they almost did. Corey got that Nano, just pumping Teddy and fully heals on point, taking so much damage, so much pressure. But they really had nothing else to use there. And once they got in, I'm surprised Corey survived that, honestly, when that dive from Vin and Hayden came in. Somehow stayed alive through all that pressure. But what that did was force all his cooldowns out, force his sleep, force that nade, and then Lore or Vikos re-engages with that Blade and gets both supports before the fight really begins to break out. And now you're kind of stuck here. The end of point C is where you stopped. I mean, you had 5 minutes going in there if you're the Washington Overwatch team. Your point A and point B were stellar, but just kind of staggered out towards the end when Razzmatazz really couldn't get as much done on the Pharah in that enclosed space. So when you look at it here, Washington has a chance to sustain here. The more defense comps, especially with the Torb and the Pharah pressure. But I don't know. Lore on this Ashe, swapped out the Sojourn onto this. Once they got that pocket, was just taking res out of the sky left and right. So maybe a bit of a difference here for the defense because you have more cover to play around if you are Raz on the Pharah. You'd hate to see a 5-minute time bank go to waste there. Oh, sorry, I didn't say my classic phrase. King's Row point sees where time banks go to die. There I go.
There it is.
Make sure to get it.
Hayden making a late swap over to the Zenyatta there.
I like it, honestly.
Yeah. I'm always a fan of little Zenyatta play.
I mean, you're playing with a ball, you're playing with a Genji, so you can discord and they can dive on that target. So honestly, a great swap from Hayden. I like the selection here. It's just with the pocket of lore, they're kind of stuck in this little area. So if you get a discord, the dive pressure can be there. There's really nowhere to go because lore's got the sightlines locked down.
Both sides are kind of just diving in and out. Hayden's able to pick off the turret, which was a really big deterrent. Raspataz is able to pick off Charbatron. Unfortunately, Charbatron is unable to res Charbatron. Vikops is able to pick off Papa Trise. Both Mercies are down. No reses for either side. Raspataz is able to pick off Vikops. However, Corey is forced to use Lamp to get his tank out. Hayden is able to pick off Corey with a well-timed volley. Vind is able to pick off Papa Triste as well. Vind picking off another one. And Laura is able to pick off Teddy M. It appears that the Washington Overwatch teams and defense has crumbled.
Yeah, that coach gun from Lore was perfectly timed because Razzmatazz went in there with the Pharah boop and was like 2 feet away with rockets, so could have got that easy kill. The coach gun just barely comes out in time to keep that Lore alive in the fight. And now Raz goes over onto the Echo here. A lot less kind of burst damage and potentially a lot more sustain when you're, or a lot more over time damage with the ball comp. I like that swap because the Pharah, you're kind of hard to hit the Wrecking Ball always running around like that, all crazy. Fedora will have the Molten Core here for the chokehold. Hayden is on a bit of a flank here, taking on Fedora Mr. one-on-one. This
now picks up Raspataz, but Raspataz is res. Vind is able to pick off Papa Triste with his Fedora Master picks off Hayden. However, Vind returns the favor. Vikops is able to pick off Teddy M, and Vin's pick off Fedora's Master's turret, the best player on their team, a little bit late.
I mean, Vind is going absolutely crazy on this Wrecking Ball right now. Completely uncontested, it seems, even though Fedora Master has the turret and everything. But they break the chokehold before they can really swing on through and deal damage to the... Or I guess they kill Fedora Master before it can use that Molten Core in the choke.
I'm sorry, my words aren't very good. I'm sorry, my friend. I will be better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at it right now, looking for his early picks here, you got 4 ults here. Laura is going to use that Bob early here to trace the space, and here comes a slam from Vind up on a Raz. Raz goes down early.
Raz dies. Fedora is able to kill the Bob, but a Transcendence is able to stabilize a little bit. Annihilation is used, pushing the ball into a hole. Vind is able to kill Teddy M, though. Corey is able to get Vikops as well. Hayden dropping Fedora Master.
Oh, Corey's trying so hard to clutch up, but I don't think it's going to be nearly enough here. It's just Corey against the world here. Raz is back to try to put some health in, but Corey's isolated. He's very lonely right over in the left corner. Big mind's coming up from Vind here. Corey!
Oh no, Corey!
I can't touch. I mean, Teddy uses Annihilation and go very aggressively, but Vind isolates him with a boop, as well as getting the kill, so it's just down that fight winning ultimate very early in his tracks. And now you're looking at for North comes up off the Torb onto the Ash of himself. But Lore used Bob last fight, already has it again! Lore has been taking heads off here so far this game.
Vikops is able to get Papa Triste as well. Vikops grabbing Teddy as well.
Yeah, it's looking rough here. You got Bob to try to do this last second push. You can potentially build another Nano here from Corey very close, but Taze goes over onto the Diva very quickly here. So potentially a Nano Diva on point to try to contest for as long as possible. But Hayden will probably build Trance in the middle of this fight, as well as the Bob to put pressure on the point. Gonna go through the back. Potentially
first Bob is used. Raz goes down to the Bob. Fedora Master is able to pick off Laura though. Laura still getting kills with the Bob. Fedora Master is able to pick off Charbatron. Vikops is able to trade for Corey.
They got touch.
Vind does get Fedora Master.
No! Razzmatazz!
And
no Raz!
No Raz!
No!
And Teddy M is also pooped off.
Corey against the world.
Corey against the world is not enough. The world beats him down.
That was so sad. If she doesn't fall off there, she could probably build mines very quickly and sustain the point for a little bit longer, but Lore on this Ashe, the Bob finds so many kills. It seems the Bob would always get like the Mercy somewhere, so they wouldn't be able to res any last second picks. But Lore on this high ground on point C, uncontested. There's just nothing they could do. Was putting out so much damage here from the high ground. So yeah, pretty tough to fight against that when Lore's popping off like that, but yikes, that's your map pick. And I like I said, you take them to King's Row, it's kind of their bread and butter, so potentially not the best extra watch to Overwatch team, but we'll see where they go on our third map here. It's gonna be Escort, but that's kind of tough because where do you even take them? You're going against Laura, who is very proficient on all ranges of hit scan, and Vinda can play any tank, so it's like there's no good option here if you're watching an Overwatch team. Potentially a Circle Royale look, putting Corey on the tank again, with the nuttier Raz DPS line playing that, or Fedora nuttier DPS line, the long range DPS. I don't know. It's pretty tough here. You're gonna need a reverse sweep here if you're watching an Overwatch team. But my guess would be Circle Royale if I was a prognosticator, which I usually am not. What are your thoughts here? Ninja Drew, if you're watching Overwatch team, if you're in that Discord call right now, well, what are you saying to the squad? Because I'm out of loss for words.
You asked me the second I went for a drink of water.
How about you drown first, and then you give me, then you got something out, guys. I'm drowning. Do it for me. You give him motivation by becoming a martyr. I like the idea.
The best plan. Really dealing with lore, I think, is their main issue here, because Lore is able to get so much value on those hit scans, and they're going to Shambali.
Interesting decision, honestly. I don't mind it. It's one of those you can play Sigma on it. There's not too much damage a long-range hit scan can do after that first corner of A. I mean, there's that overlook on B looking down at the end of point A, but there are a lot of corners you can play here if you are the watching Overwatch team, so not a bad look, especially if Fedora go over on tank. I'm expecting a Ramatra duel here. Fedora. Corey's going to go over onto the tank, and that's or Fedora on the tank and Corey to DPS. So potentially Corey on like a Cassidy here. Teddy on a Sojourn. I think, honestly, this is a good look for the Watch Overwatch team. I always forget that Shambhala is an actual map in this game because nobody ever plays it here in Aurora. So
we don't like new things.
It's
we're stuck in our old ways.
Again on my point. Had they add a good map in this game? No, Shambhala sucks. Anyway, horse on horse action. Vinda's calling for some Broncos Country riders here, even though I'm the only rider allowed. But I don't think Fedora's going to go over on the horse. I think Fedora's going to play the Ramatra.
Will they? Will they do the honorable duel?
Okay.
Of course, it's less than
Orisa is not
less than
honorable. Duel.
Less than honorable duel.
Orisa duel is you say 10 paces and both you take 5 and turn around and shoot each other. That's not honor. Crewmate on crewmate violence. Yes, this is the crewmate lineup here for the tanks.
Indeed. The former teammates forced the clash.
And you saw it there in King's Row. I believe I caught it on Spectator, but you had Vind just like hounding down Fedora Master on King's Row B in the alleyway, just running him down, sniffed him out like a bloodhound, and just ran on the little man and killed him instantly. It was a bit sad, It's sad to see crewmate on crewmate violence. The grand finals, frustration obviously building up there. He blames Fedora for the loss. Vind never loses. All right, both teams are ours, so we're gonna head on in to Shambali Monastery, which a new look here in Aurora. We don't see very often, so should be interesting here, and hopefully something new. But like I said, this first corner of A is really tough here, but if you can break that, you can basically do pretty good here in terms of going against Laura's hero pool. But if Laura can hold this angle here on A, or even get set up on that B high ground right above the end of A, it's gonna be tough to get him out of there, especially with your current DPS. I'm guessing Corey playing an Ashe or a Cassidy. And yeah, one of the cow people. One of the cow people. That's kind of Corey's DPS pool. Is the people who can wrangle the cattle. But Vind against Fedora Master on the tank here, both on Sigma. I sadly gotta give the advantage over here to Vind. I remember him. There's that one clip on Route 66 where he hit like a nasty 270-degree rock turn.
Oh.
The controller diff is here. It's powerful.
But
So Fedora's got
my colleagues give me everything
I guess I can't think of the phrase right now.
I thought the same thing.
I actually can't think of this phrase right now. Well, it's actually gonna piss me off. Anyway, I'll think about it. You can take over.
What is the
Work
phrase
cut up for him.
about?
There we go. Work cut up for him. I figured it out.
Ah, there you go.
But yeah, Teddy on the Hanzo. That's a good selection if you use that Sonic Arrow to try to scout this little left building as well as getting some random logs down main. Find an opening pick and open this point up. But Laura's in that spot like I was talking about. It's going to be pretty hard to get him out of here. Unless Corey gets the pressure. Oh, never mind.
We're able to pick off Hayden. Hayden does get res though. However, res is wasted very early in this fight. Vind is able to pick off Nuttier, but luckily he was able to get his lamp off, making Raz's res very, very easy. Vickoffs is burning in the back line, however, Teddy it does get picked off by him. Corey does pick off Hayden once more. However, it appears that the tank battle has begun. Nuttier is picked off by Vickoffs. Flomdog is able to res Hayden once again. Never letting his support duo truly die.
Yeah, it looks like this fight's kind of at a stalemate for now. Both teams just kind of looking at each other. But right now, Vickoffs is the go-to DPS here. They're focusing down Laura, but allows Vickoffs to go just through the back line. Got 3 picks that fight. Almost has a blade here already. And the airtime feels forced out early, and Vind has a flux. Oh, it's a 4-man flux. It's huge.
4-man flux. But Razmataz's ult is able to not really do enough healing. As 3 of them are picked off in the aftermath of that ult. Master is able to get up onto the stairs after tripping a little bit. And Razmataz is able to follow him in.
Oh my, that's a massive flux there from Vind just to get so early in that fight. But they need to like rotate up on the high ground here because Laura's just completely uncontested up here, just putting out the damage here consistently. And allows Vickoffs to go aggressive here to follow up with dashes and get the resets. And now they have the high ground, or they have the blade, I should say, going in here very aggressively.
Flip and Bob both use. Vickoffs is able to pick off Teddy M. Nuttier's mortality field falls. There is Fedora uses his ult. The window is used. Laura's able to pick off Corey's Bob. However, Fedora a Mercy falls. Mercy is Mercy reses. We have Corey who's able to burn Vickoff slowly over the time. Laura's Bob is able to pick off his counterpart, however. I'm sorry, I'm using the pick again. I'm sorry because
Fedora has just taken the high ground here from Laura though, so
Teddy does get off. Hayden goes down to Fedora Master. Vickoffs takes Razmataz out. Laura retaking the high ground, almost, and running away. Fedora Master is able to get off. Laura is able to get Laura though. Fedora get Vickoffs as well. He's in there. Now the Sigma battle has begun. Teddy M is able to get Flomdog as he tries to escape.
Fedora's going sicko mode right
Fedora's
now.
going in. He keeps going.
Oh, Fedora's going sicko mode. He refuses to lose.
He really wants to win this duel. I think he's being forced out though.
Yeah, Laura up on the high ground does force him out a little bit here, but look, ultimately, if you got Dragon, you have Bob, but the flux from Vind could be huge yet again coming in here, but all they gotta make
And
it count.
there
One
it
rock
is.
from Fedora Master.
However, the only one who was picked up by it does get picked off by Laura on now on the Sojourn. Corey throws Bob in, and Hayden's immortality field falls to it. Fedora Master throws Vind up into the air and slams back down into the dragons. Teddy M is able to pick off Hayden with that dragon.
Oh, Teddy.
Laura's able to pick off Teddy. It's Fedora Master on point with his a couple others. A lot of people on point actually. Fedora's able to pick off Flomdog. Vind comes back on the ball. Immortality field is used early. Vind picks off Razmataz.
No way.
Window is used. Corey's able to pick off Hayden's immortality field.
Oh, no.
Laura gets nuttier.
No way.
Teddy's able to get Flomdog, and Vind is able to get Corey. these ever so slow picks and trades. Teddy picks off Vic off.
Fedora's so weak.
Fedora's barely alive, and he finally falls to the Slorb, which also picks off Teddy M, and Razbataz is the last to fall, stalling as long as he can.
Yeah. Oh, that was so close for Overwatch team. There's something like 2.68 meters to get to the end there of point A. But a clutch return there from Vind on the wrecking ball just steps to the point. But again, Laura, I was spectating that entire fight, just stays alive by slowly moving around cart by leaning lazily to the left and just getting around the cart out of the line of sight. It forces Corey to chase him, and what that does is it allows Vind to boot him in that low ground area and isolate him from the enemy team. And then Nutter tries to TP in on the Kiriko to keep Corey alive through that entire fight, and just not enough. Fedora Master tried his damnedest, I will give him that, because that point A belongs solely to him. That flank was massive on A, clearing that high ground out, forcing Laura into a low ground position, and then from there, Fedora kind of just pushed in the Loch Ness Nessies back to the end of A, but just wasn't quite enough. Just the picks weren't coming quick enough for us to sustain, for Loch Nessies to return, and they just... Oh, that's rough. But it is Shambhala Monastery, which is a point A hold you see a lot of the time, especially with that high ground advantage the defense has looking down the spawn doors of the opposing attackers. So I could see it happen here. They go off the Ash over onto a Sojourn, which I honestly think the Ash a little better here, just because there's... but you can build the energy very quickly off the Sigma shield, so not a bad pick by Corey, but honestly I prefer the Ash here. And I don't know, I think you can put into words why I respect it, but potentially just the dynamite pressure is a lot better here when they try to push up a little bit. But if Corey can find the pick, it don't matter. But they give me so much space.
And the trading of blows has begun. They almost gave up the entire quarter.
They're giving up so much space. The corner is just going around the corner. They're playing inside.
They're going around the corner.
DPS have no sightlines.
Aurora is pushing in now, trying to stop their advance. Vikos is able to dash into the back line, uncontested though. Picks off Rasputin super early. Corey falls as well. Teddy M is able to avenge him, however. Lore picks off Fedora Master. Vin picking off Teddy M. And Vin getting that last pick onto Nuttier.
They just gave way too much space there. It allowed the DPS the DPS had no sightlines there as they tried to engage, and allowed Vikos to retreat. Kyle on a flank angle to get over onto the DPS on the high ground, force them out to weird position, get the 2 picks they needed there. And really, it's kind of a last second stall here for Fedora Master on the Reinhardt, but it's 3 minutes here for just a couple more meters. And Fedora is anti-nated immediately. Of course, I feel very early.
Anti rocked. Misses the charge. It is a great wall, however, it doesn't appear to really be enough. And there we have the solo flux onto poor Teddy. No!
Fedora almost has shadow though. Could be turnable.
Cora's able to pick off Vin. Vikos is able to get Nuttier through the dash. There's a blade with Rasputin falling. Fedora Master getting a massive shatter.
Okay, you hear the question marks in chat now. It's isolated and dies.
Lord.
It's still winnable here.
Laura's able to get Fedora Master, and Teddy's able to get Flom Dog.
They can't do it again.
Corey's able to go into Ice Block and is able to stall out a little bit longer. Nutter using his window to try and keep them down. Corey walling off Vin very successfully, body blocking him as well. Fedora Master has come back on the ball.
It looks like they are gonna hold.
They
but
do
now
hold
you have a
for a
really
little bit
weird
longer.
comp here. You have the Wrecking Ball Maze synergy, of course, very legendary. But Raz does have the nano here, probably going to give it on to Fedora Master or Tedium. And Vin's going to go on to the Reinhardt himself. Potentially a lot more brawl potential with the Mei, trying to isolate this Mei a little bit maybe. But nice flank from Laura right now as he engages in Fedora Master.
Laura uses his ult on point. Doesn't really freeze anybody.
Tedium was forced to use recall pretty early to get Raz. Raz had nano, she can't use it!
She can't use it. Vikos picked off both the supports earlier on in the fight. Vin's able to get Corey.
Oh,
however,
Teddy!
a giant pulse from Teddy M. However, Vikos is able to get the revenge for the rest of his team.
Can they touch?
As Hayden uses his window. I don't know if
Oh, the
Boostio! Boostio, but a massive shatter to counter the Boostio!
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
I don't know if without that shadow, I don't know if they could have stopped the Boostio.
I mean, it's nuttier on the Boostio. It's very powerful. So the shadow is completely
Terrifying.
necessary. Shuts down the alpha threat. Tell me this is that 4K flux. Yeah, it's pretty massive.
Yeah, this was a massive flux.
I don't know how that catches Razzmatazz out the back of that, but
Magic.
Yeah, Vind magic, the Vindy Man magic. And that's gonna be GG's. That's gonna be a 3-0 for the side of the Loch Ness Nessies, continuing their hot streak. Of the season, I should say, because they lost last week. Not really a streak. Win streak of 1 achieved for the Loch Ness Nessies. And Washington Overwatch team continues to falter against the top teams in the league. But now we have the unenviable position of selecting a player of the match from the side of the Loch Ness Nessies. There are so many candidates you could give it to.
Oh.
You know, the support line is strong as ever, Vind on the front, but honestly, I think for me, it's got to be Lorer, because it just seemed whenever they needed a clutch pick, or they needed a stall, or they needed a good hero swap, it just seemed to be Lorer was the answer.
Yeah, well, Vigos and Vin did have a great showing. They did their jobs extraordinarily well, not even to mention the support line keeping all of those people up and alive, constantly enabling the rest of their team. I think that Lore was able to just really stand out even among his incredible team.
Yep, I think we'll have to go and give it on to Lorer. So we'll bring him in here for a quick interview to get his thoughts on his match. So let's see this one.
Yep.
There he is. Congratulations on the win. Oh wait, where'd he go? I think he hung up on Discord the second.
Yeah, did he leave the second? Was he leaving the second that we yoinked him in here?
Unlucky for Lorer.
Drag him in. Get him.
No, I think he just logged off Discord. I think he just hung up on Discord.
No,
so
is he here? I think he just said something. He just said GG's.
He just said GG's, but he's not in a voice call, so I can't drag him in. Well, whatever.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunately, we will not get to hear from Lorer, but I'm sure he'll say shout out to the team, especially Vind, because that's usually what Lorer says when we bring him in for interviews. So wait, he joined the team back. I can bring him in.
He joined. Drag him. Get him.
There he is.
You've been stolen.
Sorry, I must have left just as
You left the second that I clicked production to move you in here. Anyway, congratulations on the victory. A quick 3-0 against Washington Overwatch team. Initial thoughts on your team's kind of bounce back win after a tough Map 5 loss last week to the Junkyard Dogs.
We took the time to look at new comps and stuff, and it helped a lot here with King's Row, because it's just we could instantly decide, hey, let's run with the ball comp instead. So it just sped that up, so we were able to have a stronger hold on third and stuff. So it gave us a little bit of a wake up, so we can clean the swaps up.
I mean, because that was you personally, your first loss in 6 months in Overwatch?
Yeah, that was my first loss since January 27th, I believe it was.
Yeah, because over on ML7,
so I was on
you were kind
streak.
of putting in quite the work. You're coming here undefeated. I'm sure the ego was kind of expanding quite rapidly, but yeah, the Junkyard Dogs came and slapped you down back into place. The clutch up here in this game.
Yeah,
you were very impressive on the Ashe, especially on King's Row. But a lot of good picks coming out here and there. So
yeah.
But Ninja, got anything?
Not really.
Well, all right.
I can't think of anything.
I guess I'll ask one question.
You guys kind of already said everything that I was thinking of. So
so you said you're looking at these new comic positions here, right? And I just want to say, how easy is it to come up with these ideas to have a new comp come out of nowhere, really with too much practice? Is it just your team's flexibility? Is it just your team's just overall skill on their characters? Just what do you think makes it so easy for you guys to adapt a new composition, so quickly against a pretty strong team in the Washington Overwatch team?
just with Vikos just being on Genji, it's a little bit funny. So we're working around enabling him the best we can, no matter what comp we're doing. But like, Vind just has so many characters at such a high level; it's insane, and like that enables us to swap it around a lot. Because we don't really have to worry about like, oh well, this tank work well. It's just we have Vind. He's gonna find a way to put in the work. So it's just making sure that everyone else is on comfort picks and is able to do well.
All right.
Saying fucks.
I mean, I think you might have already said your answer, but I'll ask El Clasico anyway. If you could not be player of the match this game, who would you give it to on your team and why?
I don't even really know. Probably Vind, I guess. Just dude was on fire. But like Vikos with his pressure on backline and following up on kills was insane. So I'm gonna do like a short bit for everyone, and then like Hayden is Hayden, kind of stinky. But Charm and Flomdog were amazing for this.
So basically,
Yeah.
the whole squad is the MVP.
The whole
team
squad's
is the
pulling up
MVP.
and having a game.
I can already see Laura up on like Kevin Durant at the press conference. He's crying, "You're the real MVP," but pointing at literally everybody else on his team.
I mean, it's like I have so much space to work with in all of these. It's like everyone's just doing so good, and it allows me to just try and click heads best I can. So
Oprah at the top of the stage. You get MVP. You get MVP. Everybody gets MVP.
let's go.
Well, that's gonna do it for us here for the interview again. Congratulations on your win, and congratulations on your win in OCAC in the Diamond Challengers tournament. And so yeah, you're on a hot streak again
Thank
here,
you.
Laura.
Yeah.
See if we can go another few months without another loss. But we'll send you on your way again. Congrats, and we'll see you hopefully soon.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for us here at the broadcast station. 3-0 win here for Loch Ness Nessies over the Overwatch team. I guess probably people thought this one would be a little closer than it was, but I guess maybe they're just kind of on a different level right now. The Nessies, again, like Laura said, just kind of that wake-up call to really bring the team back to focus.
Able to really start locking in.
And it's a scary time to do so. You know, halfway through the season, if they can bring this momentum into the playoffs. Could probably see them claiming our first seed if they don't slip up anymore. But we'll have to wait and see what will happen. We are very much still in the action of this season, only at week 7 so far. So don't go anywhere. But for Ninja Drew, I've been Booney, and we will see you guys with our next broadcast. I'm not sure when our next match is actually going to be broadcasted. Well, I'll give a quick shout out to Jabba for sleeping in his crate the entire stream and not barking. So quick claps in the chat for him for being a good boy in the back of the corner there. So perhaps he's the MVP. I'm surprised Laura didn't shout him out. But anyway, stay safe, stay healthy, have a great rest of your evening, everybody.
All right, bye-bye.